Hey you, it's me, Curtis B, and it's time for some coffee. Starting off with the biggest news in the past couple of days here, Apple has announced their September event. The event will be happening on September 12th, and it'll be happening at the Steve Jobs Theater at Apple Park. Now, there were many rumors pointing to September 12th being the date, but it was the location that everyone was a little bit subjective on. Would the Steve Jobs Theater be ready on time for this event, or would they have to move it to a different location? It's such a big event, they'll be announcing this next generation iPhone, the 10th anniversary iPhone, so it would make sense, like they want it at the Steve Jobs Theater, but what if it wasn't ready? So I'm happy that we don't have to worry about that because I really wanted them to announce this at this theater. I think it just brings this event level up way high. Now at the event, Apple is of course expected to announce the next generation iPhone here. They're also expected to announce an Apple Watch, Apple TV, and new software for both iOS and the Mac. Now the big announcement here being the iPhone 8 or the iPhone Pro, of course. It'll get a brand new design. We've been talking about it forever. If you haven't seen the rumors and the leaks of the phone by now, I don't really know what to say to you. But it will be the biggest change to the iPhone since the original iPhone. Like, they're basically tearing it apart and being like, it has a screen still. Kidding, obviously. There will be some similarities, but there's gonna be a lot of big differences. Obviously, the home button being the biggest one, but we'll touch on that in a bit. The other big additions being the OLED display, 3D face scanning camera, the wireless charging system, and its $1,000 price point. The Apple Watch is expected to get an LTE connection, so you can use the Apple Watch without a phone. Apple TV is expected to go 4K, which is awesome if you have a TV at home that supports 4K. And iOS 11 and High Sierra will be released at this event. The tagline for the event being, "Let's meet at our place," which makes sense. This is the first time Apple is letting people onto their campus to actually see part of it. This will be a big thing. The Steve Jobs Auditorium Theater holds about 1,000 people-ish, so it'll be a pretty big event, and it'll be really interesting just to see the event space. Again, first time we've ever seen it, really, so, except for like on the outside from some drone video. With the event landing on the 12th, we can expect pre-orders to start that Friday, the 15th, and the phones will be in store on the 22nd of September, so get your wallets ready, because it's buying time. Next up, let's talk about the iPhone 8 home button, because this has been a big topic of rumor for like the past couple of months. Like, how is Apple gonna implement a virtual home button on their new device? Well, some leaked information seems to point that the home button just won't exist, and they're gonna replace it with a small little line at the bottom of the display. This new line at the bottom of the display may work very similar to how the iPad works in iOS 11. You'll be able to swipe up from the bottom of the display to show off a dock, then further slide up to reveal multitasking. The dock itself will hold about like 4-ish apps, plus an additional app that Apple recommends. The multitasking here will look a little bit different. It's gonna be very card-based instead of the stack that we currently see. Again, very similar to the iPad running iOS 11. If you've seen that, if you've used that, think of that, but on your iPhone. Another big thing that's gonna change here at the top of the display, we have that sort of cutout for the camera. Looks like Apple isn't gonna try to cover that up. They're not gonna put a black bar all the way across to sort of seamlessly blend that. They are embracing it, and they're gonna call it ears or something. That's what they call it internally, is the iPhone ears. So the status bar will be split up between the right and the left side of the actual camera notch. On the left side, we'll see the current time. That's where your clock's gonna be moving over, and that will be the only thing on the left. On the right side, that's where we're gonna see our cellular display connection, Wi-Fi connection, and the remaining battery life. This seems to point to the fact that Apple's gonna get rid of the carrier information because it just doesn't fit up there anymore. And any other information that needs to be displayed will actually sort of come and go as it needs to be. This is kind of a complicated thing to explain and really hasn't been explained in the rumor mill. But long story short, you will still get notifications for things that used to be up on the status bar. They'll just be displayed differently somehow. I don't really understand it, but they say it will be adaptive. Now again, going back to the gestures here for the brand new home button, we actually saw a video of this leak earlier. This video was found by developer deep inside of iOS 11, and it shows off what appears to be like an iPhone 7 here using similar type multitasking features. Swipe up from the bottom of the display and you reveal this sort of multitasking interface. Now this will be a huge shift for Apple, you know, ditching the home button. It has been like the simple thing that they have had on pretty much all of their touch devices since the iPhone's original launch. iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad, they all have this home button. Even the freaking iPod Nano got like a home button, basically. So for them to ditch it for this little line at the bottom of the display is really interesting, but it totally makes sense because if you can see these renders that some people have thrown together here, the line takes up very little space at the bottom of the display. The last thing you want to do is make this beautiful edge-to-edge display and then put like this giant ass home button on the very bottom. It just takes up so much room and it's really not even needed. And as the render show and iOS beta sort of details that have leaked show, the actual like menu bar at the bottom of some apps will actually just go boop underneath the actual line. So it seems to blend seamlessly. So the app looks like it takes over the whole display. Because again, you're not buying this huge edge-to-edge device just to have this freaking home button always there. Now, it's hard to say right now how Siri will really work overall here, and accessibility options, again, are gonna be a tough thing because it's easy to find the home button even without looking on the phone. So people that are blind, could be a little bit more difficult to find that. Though I guess it's always at the bottom of the display, so you kind of just have to assume it's there. I don't really know. Apple will hopefully explain all of this at their event. So with all those big Apple announcements, my question for all of you guys today, what do you think about them all? What are you most excited about? What are you still a little questionable about with Apple announcing? Let me know, comment section down below. I'd love to know. Are you excited for the new iPhone? Are you a little skeptical about some things? I'm still not happy with the ears on the iPhone. I think it's gonna be kind of ugly. I wish they would just put a black bar across the top, but personal preference on my part. So let me know, comment section down below. Next up, let's jump into some quick news here as Samsung has just released some iOS compatible smartwatches. The Gear Sport and the Gear Fit 2 Pro smartwatches have been released. They are both iOS compatible. They run the Tizen OS here. They have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS all built in, and they also support Samsung Pay. So if you're interested in that, you can pick those up today. Next up, Nest has announced a brand new thermostat, the Nest Thermostat E. It's a brand new version of their popular smart thermostat, and it comes in at a cheaper price, which is nice. That product is currently available right now, but Nest also sent out these interesting invites to an event happening on September 20th. All they say is it's a big event. It sounds like they're going to be announcing something that involves your TV, simply because the invitation sort of mentions couch and popcorn. And what do you tend to be looking at when you're on your couch eating popcorn? Tends to be the TV. And DJI has announced a brand new version of their MAVIC, the MAVIC Pro Platinum. This new version of their popular MAVIC drone is very similar to the old version, but it does have a longer flight time of up to 30 minutes, and it's 4 dBs quieter when flying. This is all accomplished due to new aerodynamic props built right into the drone. And last but not least today, let's talk about Philips Hue, because they are working to be a bigger influence in your entertainment world in your living room. Yes, Philips, the company behind the highly popular Hue LED lights, is looking to work more with movies, games, and music in the near future. They're announcing brand new software that will allow the lights to actually sync up with movies, video games, and music, and they're calling it Hue Entertainment. Hue Entertainment will link up its range of bulbs with supported TV and media players and also consoles. Now, entertainment brands can access the program in October, and Hue actually hopes to roll out this whole platform in December to users. Overall, it's a pretty cool idea here. If you've never seen demonstrations of a similar type of product, it looks really cool. It basically extends the light from the actual video like around your room. Hue themselves calling it surround sound, but for your eyes. And really it is, because it just takes the color of the edges of your frame and again, expands them around the room. So it's a very like immersive sort of situation. Now, I personally have never tested it out myself. I've kind of wanted to, but my living room's not set up in such a way. But it's awesome to see that they're gonna be working with other distributors to sort of bake this into the product. More or less what it sounds like is inside of the coding for these like movies, games, and stuff like that, it will be able to transmit that light data to the actual lights. The interesting thing will be how you actually set the lights up so that it knows sort of where it is in the room. Could be a little bit more difficult to set that up. Hopefully Hue has figured out a way to make this easy to set up, because the last thing you want is to hear your mom talking about like, I need to set up my lights to work with my TV. You're like, oh my God, Mom, no. But with that, we arrive at the end of the show. So if you enjoyed the video today, make sure you hit that like button. And of course, subscribe to the channel. I'm working on releasing new videos like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, everyone. We're sort of ramping up to that release schedule. Also, I'm lazy, I do apologize. And if you want, you can find other videos just like this one on screen right now, or of course, you can follow me on my social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that fun stuff. Head over to curtisparody.ca, or of course, you can click on the annotation thing on screen right now. I think it's down, not here, it'll be right over here. Is it there? I'm either pointing to the right side or the wrong side of the video. I'll figure this out. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, everyone, I'm Curtis Paradis. Have an amazing day.